Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to use rollers in your hair if you have fine hair to get the volume like a beautiful blowout at the salon, but you can do it yourself at home. This whole set only cost me $7 on Amazon, and if I can do it, you can too. So I'm going to show you all the products I use, how to put the rollers in, and how to give you a big bouncy blow dry. If you're a complete beginner and you need some tips and tricks on how to take care of your hair at home, download my free guide and you can even book a virtual consultation with me. Just follow the link in the description below. Other than that, we'll get started. So the foundation of any blow dry is dependent on the products that you use. You always need to be using a leave-in conditioner. It needs to have a heat protectant in it, and it needs to add moisture to your hair. The first thing you always want to make sure is that your hair stays healthy. I like to spray it mostly on my ends first, and then I work my way up to the mid shaft, and then I'll spray a tiny bit on the top, but you don't really want to spray too much on the top because you don't want to weigh your roots down. And then you're going to make sure you want to brush that through. So the second thing that you're always going to want to make sure that you use is either some type of mousse that's going to give you lift at your roots. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to spray directly on my hand, and then I'm going to basically like zhuzh it right into my roots. You don't need to use a whole lot of this. A little bit goes a long way. Probably about that much. You mostly want to make sure that you're getting it right at your crown section, right here, all the way to your mohawk section to your crown section. And then another product that I do like to use basically for the mid shaft to your ends is going to be just some type of volumizing spray. You want to use something that's super light, because if you use a super heavy mousse, your hair is going to end up rock solid, and that's going to defeat the whole purpose. So we're going to take it just like the leave-in conditioner, only a few spritzes here and there, and then we're going to brush it through. Okay, so for anyone who blow dries their hair, but especially people with fine hair, when you use your blow dryer, you want to make sure that you're over directing your hair on both sides. So you're going to the left and then going to the right. I'm going to show you in just a second. I part my hair, if I push it forward, right about here. So that means I want to over direct this side over here and then this side over here. That's going to give us the maximum amount of lift. So you're just going to rough blow dry your hair until it's about 75 to 85% dry already. Okay, at this point, you're probably going to look a little bit like Mufasa, but what we're going to do is take our Olaplex oil. You can use whatever light oil that you have. I love this one. It's great for fine hair. That's exactly why I use it. And it smells amazing, of course. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops in my hands. I'm going to rub it together, and I'm going to distribute it all throughout a little bit of my mid shaft to my ends. That way, when I do start blow drying, it gives me a little bit of slip, and it adds nice polish to my hair. So I'm going to do about 3 drops of it. That's all you need basically for your whole head if you don't have as much hair just like I do. And I like to take basically all of my hair, run it through my ends just like so, and then once it's through my ends, I'm going to take my mid shaft and work its way up. And last but not least, I will run it through the top, basically when it's all done. Okay, and then you're gonna brush it through just like any product that you put in your hair. Okay, so now we're at the fun part, the sectioning. So normally when I blow dry my hair, I work from bottom to the top. However, it's going to be much easier and much more stress-free if you work from the top to the bottom. So one big tip is if you part your hair down the middle, you can go straight down, basically like the whole top of your head, the mohawk section, and section that out first. However, if you have a side part like I do, then you should obviously part it a little bit off to the side wherever you part your hair. So if I'm on the left, you put it a little bit on the left. If you're on the right, then you're gonna part it a little bit on the right. Okay, now I'm gonna clip this away just for a second. Okay, so everything else you're just going to leave down, and I'm actually gonna clip it away in a big clip so I don't grab that hair. So we're first gonna work on the very front section of your head. So I'm gonna drop about this much hair. So I'm gonna start blow drying, and I'm gonna blow dry basically straight up. The higher you hold the hair, the higher the elevation is, the more lift you're gonna get. So polish your ends and make sure it looks good before you drop it. If it's still frizzy when you're done, it's still gonna be frizzy when you take your hair out later. So make sure it looks good when you're done blow drying that section. We're gonna go section by section all through the mohawk section of my head. So you can see that this is really soft and malleable. So when your hair is still warm, just after I did that, we're gonna take our roller. You want to start from your ends and work your way down. Okay, so taking your fingers, you're gonna pull it tight. You're gonna make sure you're straight up. We're going to take the roller and we're going to let it slide to the ends and then roll down. If you have these little pieces that fall out, it's totally fine. We're gonna spray it. So it looks like this. And then we're gonna take a clip and we're going to clip it. And that's how it stays. We're gonna spray it a little bit and move on to the next one. So you grab your roller. This is a little bit bigger of a section of hair just because this hair was shorter. So we're going to take it, pull it tight right in the middle. We're gonna slide it up a bit, right until those ends wrap around. Holding tension, we are rolling down, straight down on the top of our head. And even on these top ones, you can do 2 clips on each side if you need to, just because we're gonna be wiggling our head around. So make sure you keep your fingers rolled right around it as you're rolling it down. Okay, now we're gonna work on the sides. Okay, so I usually like to complete the very front of my head first, and then I'll finish the back. So I just section as I go. So this very front piece right here is going to go away from our face. So I sectioned it about right there, and we're just gonna push all this hair back. So you can see that already right there. So instead of going underneath, we're actually going to go on the side and we're going to roll kind of over directing forward. So you're gonna take a large roller and you're gonna scoop this hair with tension right here. You're going to pull it until it gets to the ends. And I know a lot of hair might fall out. It's okay if it's too short, we're gonna spray it. And if you mess up, just unroll it just like that. So look just like this. You're gonna go up underneath and pin it right there. And then we're gonna take our spray and we're gonna spray these little hairs. Now I'm gonna do this side. And the reason I like to do these 2 first is because look at the length of the hair here compared to the hair that's here. If we try to do all of that in one section, all of the hair is just gonna fall out. So we're gonna take every section just like that until we get to the back of our head, and it's gonna go straight out like I'm blow drying. Okay, so we're gonna let this section down. I try to catch it before it falls so that it'll stay together. So this is our next one. You shouldn't need that many rollers, guys, if you have fine hairs in here. So I think I'm on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna take it straight out at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna go up, over, roll it right around, pull it out until those ends wrap. And using tension, we're gonna roll it into the side of our head. It should look like that. Once you get to the back of your head, you're gonna be still doing the same exact thing. It's gonna be a little bit harder because obviously you can't see the back of your head. If you have a double-sided mirror, that's when you would wanna use this. We're gonna take one section here. I'm gonna go straight across and we're gonna blow dry this section right here. And then we're basically going to do just maybe like 2 more down here. Okay, you guys should be able to see it a little bit more clearly back here. We're gonna take our roller, put it up underneath there, hold lots and lots of tension. We wanna go as high up as we can with this until our ends roll around it. And then with tension, we're gonna roll it right up. Now that all my rollers are set, I'm gonna take my texture spray and I'm just gonna give it like a light once over just while they're cooling off. We're gonna let these cool for at least 15 to 20 minutes before we take them down. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes and I'm gonna pull all of these out. Obviously, you're gonna work from your bottom to the top. I think I've seen a couple of people work from top to bottom, and honestly what that does is it kind of just tangles your hair. Sometimes people get hung up on this part and they get their hair stuck. You're gonna unroll it the same way that you rolled it down. So we're gonna roll it out. So we're going to take our 2 fingers and we're just going to start rolling up and out. So this is what it looks like with everything out. You can see it has a ton of volume. Now you see how these little hairs are like this right here? That's just because we sprayed our hair. I have a lot of little short hairs right there, so naturally it's going to look like that. We're gonna fix it in just a minute, and it's gonna feel a little bit dry if you use a texture spray. That's normal. So I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna lightly brush where all those little hairs were so that we can smooth it out. So this is how it looks from the back. As you can see, there's a lot of lift at the root right here. My hair is usually really flat right here and it likes to separate, but it helps with that separation at the top. So this is the end result. I only used a handful of rollers to do this, and I think that it holds a style throughout the day so well with adding volume, especially if you have finer, thin hair. This makes life so much easier. It gives me much more confidence and self-esteem. And if you think that you need more in-depth help with your hair and you want to get hair like this, but you don't know how to start, book a virtual consultation with me and we'll go over all of your pain points and get you where you need to be. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to download my free guide. I'll see you next time.